We are back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. So, as we know, Cardi B has been spotted out with Maduka Okoye. They was chit-chatting at Paris Fashion Week. They have followed each other on social media. But unfortunately, it looks like even though he's linking up with Cardi B, he's a fan of Ckiminaj because he did the Bees in the Trap mashup TikTok last year. Okay? So a lot of people are saying that when the man can't get Nicki Minaj, they go for Cardi B. Now, if you guys remember, Stefan Diddy also was caught liking Nicki Minaj's pictures a few years back at the Met Gala. Okay, he was liking her Met Gala look. Off the cheat was underneath Nicki Minaj's comments, hyping her up, leaving heart eyes under one of her pictures. As we know, Quavo and Nicki did have a thing, and that's why he made Huncho Dreams. He started dissing Nicki Minaj because she wouldn't fully claim him. So it looks like when these celebrities can't get Nicki Minaj, they go for Cardi B. That's what the streets are saying. Let me know how y'all feel about it. And do y'all think he was in Nicki Minaj's DMs? Now, in my opinion, I just think he probably was a fan of Nicki Minaj musically, probably still is. And like I said before, I believe a lot of these men see Cardi B as somebody that they can fuck. Okay? Because as much as Cardi B talking about, oh, you gonna have to, buy me this, and, you're gonna have to do this and that to get me, and, blah, blah, blah. She is a person that has low self-esteem, and it really doesn't take much to smash Cardi B. It's easy, clear as day. Stefan Diddy barely claimed Cardi B, was out and about with a bunch of different hoes and still smashing Cardi B every night. So clearly she has low self-esteem and she doesn't have high standards. Now moving on to Doja Cat, even though it was a flop year, unfortunately for Doja Cat allegedly is still gearing up to put out the V Deluxe. That's what the label wants. She wants to do a new era completely, since the V era did flop, but she might be contractually obligated to do a deluxe, and at least the fans have something to look forward to because she's still coming with that D0JA collaboration, which they've been working on for like 3 years. The collaboration was supposed to come out years ago. Okay. But D0JA kind of flopping right now. It's going to be interesting to see what her first week sales are for her album because, she did 11K, I believe, first week for her mixtape, but it did grow and it did win her a Grammy. But it seems as though people are not checking for D0JA anymore. So let me know how y'all feel about that. Now, Camel Face has done 2 nights so far at the Yankee Stadium. He did throw some shots. Night 1, he said, you picking and choosing, the politicking as usual. They digging deep for narratives is embarrassing. They running out of characters, had to bring back up Cap again. Okay. So that was a shot at Colin Kaepernick. Obviously, we know they fell out due to the boycott that Camel Face did not do after he signed his NFL contract to basically choose the halftime performers. Even though a few years ago he was telling people to boycott, then he turned on Colin. Then he said, I don't listen to Twitter activists. They type and I laugh at them. It's really no comparison. Gotta check my stats again. I'm bringing folks back to their family. Laws getting passed because of him. You can like it or not. We don't do no ass kissing. Ex-drug dealer, you might not like the packaging, but my presence is a present and my gift is in the wrapping. Okay? So he's calling out people that were dragging him for his Target deal because As we know, people were boycotting Target for obvious political reasons. Now, night one, he brought out Beyonce. She was snatched. They're saying that this is her tour body. She looked amazing. Okay. The outfit, the body, the face, the hair was tea. And then also Blue Ivy was playing the piano and she was looking like Beyonce as well. I'm like, Beyonce really, gave birth to her twin, as she should. Camel Face also brought out Alicia Keys, Nas. He brought out Eminem for the second show he did at the Yankee Stadium. He brought out Slick Rick. He also brought out Pharrell. So he did bring out some heavy hitters. And there was a lot of stars in the building. And I gotta give Camel Face his 7s. He looks good for 65. He's a young 65. Like, he really looks good. I don't know if it's the Ozempic or maybe it's Miss Tina's Gumbo. Allegedly, Miss Tina's Gumbo makes you use the bathroom, and that can help you lose a lot of weight, especially if you eat it often. So, with that being said, for 65, he's a young 65. He looks really good for his age. When he turns 70 next year, he's going to look even better. And he got a new hairdo because Beyonce cut his hair. Now, Camel Face did drop a song called Glory featuring Blue Ivy. The song is okay to me. I probably won't put it in my playlist. And I do think Blue Ivy has some talent, but I think Beyonce and Camel Face are trying to act like Blue Ivy is going to be like the next biggest superstar in history. They gotta be careful with that, because even when she was playing the piano, I wasn't impressed. Like, no shade. She's not Stevie Wonder. I think Blue Ivy has talent. So let's not get it twisted. But them putting her on records and, having her perform with them is not impressive if she can't do anything by herself. If you can't perform by yourself, even at 14, with no help from your parents, how talented are you? Because Michael Jackson did it, Willow Smith, you got Christina Aguilera, Britney, the Queen, who all have performed by themselves when they were teenagers. Okay, now Michael Jackson probably was still in the Jackson 5 when he was performing, but he still was the lead singer. The point of the matter is, I feel like Blue only gets majority of her opportunities by her parents, which is fine. I'm not saying that's wrong, but that doesn't prove to me that she's talented. If she can't stand on stage by herself without, her parents' assistance, like, you're not as talented as you're trying to force us to believe. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that she's not talented. I'm saying that if you can't perform by yourself or do a show by yourself, like the Blue Ivy show, completely by yourself at your age, then you might not have that much talent as people are saying. Okay? And the reason why I'm saying that is because we've seen artists like Britney, Christina, Michael Jackson, Willow Smith, the list goes on, that were able to do it and be successful. I don't even feel like 100% that she fully wants to be an artist. I think her parents want her to be. And that's probably why she hasn't really done anything completely by herself. If North West can do it, why can't Blue Ivy? North West doesn't have any talent to me, and she always performs by herself. Now, as we know, Rihanna was somehow dragged in Chris Brown's stream that he was doing a few days ago, where a lot of fans felt like he was dissing Rihanna. This is what he said.
Yeah, Rihanna gonna fuck you up too, bitch. Yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass just like her, baby. You gonna say that dumb ass shit.
Now, people are saying, oh, he didn't mean it like that. And, you know, he was going to beat whoever his opponent was. But Rihanna, who is always on social media, despite her not always tweeting or posting, she is active on social media. She wants Chris Brown to stop mentioning her. You know, she feels like Drake and Chris Brown, especially Drake, always find ways to taunt her. That's what Rihanna feels. She's tired of her exes talking about her. She feels like she has moved on. She doesn't care what the fans are saying. She does not want them to mention her name. And, you know, she doesn't have any issue with Chris Brown. She liked a post about his tour a few months back, you know, supporting his tour with Usher. And, you know, he was trying to contact her to do some music or possibly write for her new album that is dropping. But again, she doesn't like it when her exes mention her for no reason. She has that same issue with Champagne Thickums. So it is what it is. Now, moving on from that, Bad Bunny Super Bowl performance this year has been nominated for 9 Emmys. Let me know how y'all feel about it. Now, Kendrick Lamar won an Emmy for his Super Bowl halftime performance, and so did Beyonce. So Bad Bunny definitely has a good chance of winning. I don't feel like he deserves to win. I think that his Super Bowl halftime performance was boring. I know he brung out Gaga and had Cardi B as a backup dancer, but I was underwhelmed. I think Kendrick Lamar's performance was a lot more exciting, and I wasn't really interested in what Bad Bunny had to say, in my opinion. Now, the Queen of Music is projected to debut at number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100, driven by strong performances on Apple and iTunes. This would be Queen B's 29th consecutive year charting as an artist, producer, and songwriter. Let me know how y'all feel about that. And I feel like this is pretty impressive because I thought the song was trash and she didn't do a lot of promotion. So we do gotta give Queen B her 8s. I'm not gonna give her 10s because the song is not great. But I'll give her 8s. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people are talking about how she's out charting Gaga, and Gaga has been doing a lot of promotion. You know, she won like how many Grammys earlier this year, and then she performed at the Super Bowl. Didn't she go on tour? And she is not out charting Beyonce. Then she put out a collaboration with D0JA. What happened to that? It flopped. That's what happened to it. But like I said before, is quality over quantity. You know, even though, I'll be honest with you, I don't like the song by Beyonce, but a lot of people do like the song, and it doesn't vocally sound bad. You know, no shade. I thought Gaga's last album was pretty trash. It doesn't vocally sound bad, but I just feel like the song sounds outdated, but people love it. So let me know how y'all feel about it. And if you guys like Morning Dew, or do you like the recent songs Lady Gaga has dropped? Now, Jackie O is receiving Donkey of the Day. She explains why she blocked JT, who was paying homage to Jackie O a few years ago. And it looks like she posted a DM of what JT has said to her. Now, JT wrote, "Good morning. I'm so nervous to talk to you. I'm still such a fan like I was as a kid. I know you're in such a different place than years ago." Okay, that didn't make sense. "I support your spiritual growth wholeheartedly. I just want to say if you ever decide to make music again, it would complete my career to collaborate with you. You could even choose what type of record. Love you so much." Now, she says sometimes when you block people is a blessing in disguise. "I'm not judging anyone, but I refuse to associate myself with people who don't have the Spirit of the Lord in their lives. No matter how much they claim to love me, they should be loving God more." Okay? Now, Jackie O, if you don't sit your stupid ass down, okay? Just because you on your spiritual journey, that doesn't mean you have to block fans, okay? Or an artist that looked up to you when you was, dotting and bopping, okay? Allegedly. So, in my opinion, I feel like her blocking JT just because they're on two different paths is corny. You just got on this spiritual journey. When you was wearing that whole ass outfit, you wasn't on no spiritual journey when you had your titties out. Okay, no shade. I don't feel like you needed to block JT. You could have just ignored her. I think it's tasteless and classless, and it makes you look like a bitch. Like, I'm just going to be 100%. It makes you look like a bitch blocking somebody that's a fan of you just because you on your spiritual journey. You think God's happy that you blocked somebody that likes you? Like, he's looking at you like you're dumb. Like, I'm sorry. That was unnecessary. You could have just ignored JT. JT is such a fan of Jackie O and has paid homage. And this is how you treat people that have paid homage to you. Mind you, you could get easily ignored because at the end of the day, it's not like you're an icon or legend. You'll never be that. So sit the fuck down. Anyway, I got some very hot tea on Brandy, Ray J, Camel Phase, Queen Bee, Tay Keith on Patreon. Link will be in the description. Have a great day.